Had to make sure I turned the microphone on. Last time I did a recording, I talked for 30 minutes without a microphone. Let me move my camera a little bit. There we go. Okay. Welcome to the NeedleBugg. My name is Karen, and today we're going to do another Stitch with Me. First of all, I want to welcome all the new subscribers. My heavens. I looked this morning and there were over 100 of you. So thank you so very much, folks, for subscribing. I hope you find some things that you like here, and we'll hang around. There's lots of Stitch with Me's. There are tutorials and how to do things, and I hope you can find enough to keep you interested. And well, if they don't, sometimes my Stitch with Me certainly will. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what technical difficulties Karen's going to have. There's always something, always something exciting. So hopefully today we're going to get through it without any technical difficulties, but we shall see. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming back time after time and hanging out. So most of you know how much I appreciate all of that. And yeah, we have a good time. And while I'm thinking about it, having a good time and having fun, for those of you who don't know about it, I did start a Facebook group. The Facebook group is called NeedleBugg Family. You know, some people have their neighborhood. Chris has his neighborhood. Some others have names for their followers, and I just went with NeedleBugg Family because we are all a family here. But there is a Facebook group for that. You can join if you so wish and post updates with your projects, ask questions, whatever. And I did start a Zoom to go along with that group so that if you're interested in spending some time chatting with like-minded people, there are scheduled times for Zoom Stitch and Chats. So if you're interested in that, feel free to request to join the group. While I say that, I'm also going to say you must answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, I am declining people just to be safe. There's so much going on the internet today with being scammed and God only knows what else. So in order to get into that group, I need you to answer the questions. I need you to verify that you are in fact a needlework person, and I would prefer and ask that you please be a subscriber to the channel. I will check. So if you're subscribed, but you do not have that status listed as public, you need to change it to public, or I can't see that you are subscribed, and then I won't approve your joining the group. So again, this is all being done in order to protect those people that are in the group and keep everybody safe, because it just can't be too safe these days on the internet. But that group is out there for anyone that's interested. Again, it's NeedleBugg Family. Just search it on Facebook. It should come right up, and answer the questions. Be a channel subscriber. Make sure your subscription is public so that I can see it, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so What am I working on today? I'm going to work on God Shed His Grace, because God Shed His Grace has not seen the light of day for a little bit of a while. So we're going to give Him some love and stitch on that today. So, again, while I think of it and I'm looking at my tablet, I have a question for all of you, and maybe somebody out there knows the answer. I can't remember if I just talked about it in my Hardanger video earlier this week, or if I mentioned it. Well, you guys that watched the last stitch with me when I was doing I can never say it right, Mount Martre, how my camera kept going on and off, kept losing the connection and then connecting again, and it in fact is connected via USB. If it would have been connected wirelessly, I could have understood it, but it wasn't. It was connected via the USB. But anyway, what I had put on this computer was some security software called Bitdefender. Now that, I guess the reason I put it on is because I have a Netgear router, and that came with the router as a recommendation for your internet security. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll put that on. And I put it on my PC. I put it on my iPhone. I put it on my husband's iPhone. I put it on my iPad. And every device started acting weird. Very, very weird. Like it wouldn't always make the internet connection, or my phone, when I was trying to record, would connect and disconnect and then reconnect. My computer, I went to go on Zoom on last Saturday with that session, and I couldn't even get my camera to work. So it's like, okay, this is a little bizarre. And it only started after I put that software on. So needless to say, I got rid of it. I deleted it. At least I hope I deleted it all. But so far it's been okay. And I went with another software package for protection from malware and virus and all that good stuff. However, even though I took it off my Samsung tablet, which is what I have Pattern Keeper on, and the reason I'm bringing this up and asking is ever since then, now I have deleted it. I have wiped it from this tablet. But ever since then, the Samsung internet browser randomly opens web pages. And for the most part, it's the same web page. Now, I hadn't used this tablet for several days because I was working on some Hardanger, and I don't need this tablet for that. And when I opened, it's a Samsung Tab A. When I opened that up again, there were just about 60 web pages open. And I hadn't used the tablet, and there were none open when I closed it up. Now, I did not completely turn it off. I will say that. But there were almost 60 web pages open. I don't know how to fix that. So if anybody has any great suggestions, I would love, love, love to hear them. Because, to be perfectly honest, it's a little annoying. When I opened it up today to pull up my chart for the Stitch With Me, there were a bunch of web pages open again. Now, what I did is tell it I don't want to use the Samsung web browser. But I don't know that that's going to stop it. Because I do have on here, let me look. I do have I thought I did. Oh, I did put on AVG's secure web browser. So I have that, and hopefully I won't get random web pages open. But again, it's very, very annoying. What I'm thinking of doing, because like I said, the only thing I use this tablet for primarily is Pattern Keeper, and I do have markup on it, markup RXP. What I'm thinking of doing is backing up all my charts, which I should do all the time anyway, and I don't, but back them up, put them up in either Google Drive or Dropbox, and totally reset this tablet. Like totally wipe it and reset it. Make it go back to the way it comes when it comes out of the box when you first buy it. That is my only other thought as to what I can do, but I'm sitting here to tell you. If you're thinking about using that Bit Defender, it's BIT Defender. Don't do it. Don't do it, because it's certain. And I had no trouble before that. And I have very little trouble since I deleted it. It's just the lingering effects that make me think, well, you know what? You can delete things, but does it leave some things behind when you delete a program? I kind of think that is probably the case. So I'm really thinking I should do that. What do they call it? A hard reset? But if anybody has any other ideas, I am certainly willing to hear them, because it gives me the heebie-jeebies to think that why are web pages randomly opening? Why? Makes me wonder, is there somebody on my network? But I have scanned everything And it doesn't appear that that's the case, but I'm being a little paranoid. Well, like I said, you just can't be too safe in this day and age. You just can't. Sometimes I feel like I have to question everything. So that's that tale of woe. So if anybody has any suggestions before I go to that trouble of wiping it clean and starting everything fresh, I'll listen. I'll look for answers. You can put it in the comments, or you can send me a private message or an email. Whatever works for you. I'll wait a few days before I tackle it, because this is one of those things that I have to think about before I actually sit down and do it. It's just one of those things. So, is everybody stitching? Are you stitching along with me today? And if so, what are you working on? I would love to hear. Love to hear. And if you join the Facebook group, you could certainly, absolutely post some pictures of your project. Today I'm doing, like I said, God Shed His Grace. And you guys are probably going, now how are you stitching, Karen? You changed again. Yeah, I did. What I'm doing is I'm working down the columns, feathering out into columns to my left. And I'm going down by color. So it's kind of the Stitching Mommy method, but in a column instead of across a row. So I'm filling in the color, like whatever color I pick, and I'm just taking them in order that they come. I'm doing all of the color in the first block, and then I will start to work my way down or across, whichever the case may be, and just follow the path of the color and stitch it until I run out of thread. And then I'll go back to that original 10 by 10 square and pick another color and do the same thing. And just gradually work down and around. And that way you kind of see your blocks fill in, but you also have other blocks start to fill in along the way. So I'm liking this today. For now, because we all know how that goes. I could totally change my mind till tomorrow, or maybe it'll take till next week. I don't know, but we all know that Karen at some point is going to change her mind and go back to a different method. You didn't mark that one. Now, while I'm talking about charts, I need to tell you all this, because you're probably going, Karen, you're here. Your stitching is here, but I can't see your chart. No, you can't. And I have made an executive decision. A, just because I can, and B, well, charts get pirated so easily these days. And as I recollect, when I first started, and I know there's lots of people that when they do their floss tube, they'll show you a picture of their piece, but they will not show you their chart. And rightly so, because we all know that someone who wants to take the time to do so could just, I'm probably giving somebody ideas here, but could just take a screenshot and have that chart. And I know you're going, oh, but Karen, you full coverage people, you're not showing the whole chart, you're just showing a little bit. True. But now take Stitcher's Retreat. And how many videos I did when I was stitching Stitcher's Retreat. Lots. Now, I can't remember if I showed the chart on all of them or portions thereof. But if you think about it, and, somebody's recording their stitching sessions over the course of the whole chart. There's like Kamari, who's stitching Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And she has the chart there. And she does videos. Wow, at this point, I think she's doing them almost every day. And good for her. Good for her. But if you want to be a devious person, which God forbid, I hope you don't, but if you would want to be, you could take a screenshot and crop out her chart and put all of those together and have yourself the chart. Now, would you get 100% of it? I don't know. I'm just saying there is a potential there. And, and like I said, I'm guilty of it. I put portions of my charts up too. So, I'm guilty of it too. However, I've decided I'm not going to do that anymore because I don't want to run the risk of someone trying to, screenshot that part of the chart and putting as many screenshots together as they can to ultimately get as much of the chart as they can. It really is a copyright infringement as far as I understand it. Now, I could totally be wrong. And if I am, someone please correct me. But I believe that it's for that reason that we don't show the actual chart. We show pictures of what it looks like finished, but you don't see the actual chart. And I know you guys are going, oh, but you're just showing a little bitty section. Yes. However, think about all the possibilities of what can be done with that itty bitty little section, especially if someone watches all your videos and sees many itty bitty little sections. And that's all I'm saying. So because of that, I decided I'm not going to show my chart anymore. If that offends or upsets you, I am sorry for that. But it is something that I feel is the right thing to do. It is my own personal opinion, but I do feel it is the right thing to do. And that being said, that's what I'm going to do. You know, if I lose subscribers because of that, I guess I'm sorry about that. But see, my other thought about all of that is, how many of you actually sit, followed that chart stitch by stitch, and watched where it was placed on my fabric? How many of you did that? More than likely, you do what I do. I'm sitting and stitching. I probably don't really even look up at the screen unless you say something of, okay, I'm stitching this and here's a picture of it and it perks my interest. Yeah, then I'll look. But if you're doing a stitch with me, chances are I'm stitching too. And I'm not going to look up and look at a chart and say, ooh, you missed that spot. You missed a stitch there, or whatever. And I know there are people that do, and I have been grateful for people that have said to me, oh, did you know you didn't stitch this or you didn't stitch that? Okay, no, but I'll go look. Yeah. So like I said, it's just something I feel I need to do for me. And I also need to do this for me and mess up. Yeah, that one's wrong. That's what's messed up. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up that you won't see the charts anymore. And now you don't have to wonder why you're not seeing the charts anymore. And like I said, if that is something that you don't agree with, I think we all have to make decisions for ourselves. And that's the decision I've made for me. So enough about that. Enough about that. How's this project coming along? Well, let's suffice it to say, now this, by the way, is the one by Artecy. There's been some conversation lately about the one by Cross Stitch Studio that is Gymongous, that I initially started, that I was going to initially stitch that one, and I was going to break it down into 3 panels. Yeah. I forget who it was and what group it was in, but somebody was talking about that, and I think it was that chart, and saying that they put it into markup, and markup told them that it would be finished in 2065. And she was chuckling because in 2065 she was going to be well over 100 years old. I know the feeling. That's why, pardon me, that's why I'm not stitching that one, because I can't live long enough to finish it. And when you look at the size of that, and I was going to do it in 3 different panels, so that, if I only ever finished one panel, that could be a standalone piece, and it would have looked fine. Each of those panels that I divided it into was larger than my Stitcher's Retreat. And we all know that my Stitcher's Retreat took me 5 years to stitch. So I was looking at a minimum of 15 years to stitch that. Yeah. In 15 years, I'll be 88. I hope I'm still stitching then. I hope I'm still here to stitch. But yeah. So that's the reason the Artecy one came. I purchased the Artecy one to, what did I just do? I don't want to be all the way up here. Oh, here I am. Yeah, that's the reason I purchased the Artecy one, in order that it would be not as large, and quite a bit more doable, because this one, I want to say it's like 400 and something wide by, I think it's around 250 high. So it's certainly a lot more doable than, yeah, the alternative. So that is the end of that story. I don't have a whole lot to talk about today, because there hasn't been a whole lot happening. For those of you that watched my last video, not the Hardanger one, but the one before, you might be wondering how my kitty cats are, and they are all better. I really think it was a virus of some kind. It took a little bit, but they're better. They're eating. They're fine. They're fine. But it just so happened today, a friend of ours who, I came back from the retreat on a Monday. The day before, a friend of ours had been over visiting with Glenn, which is great. And the cats were sick at that point. They were not feeling the best yet. They still had some issues with vomiting and diarrhea. And the fellow that came to visit Glenn was, petting Odie and being friendly, which is good. But today he called and he asked if our cats were better, and told Glenn that now his cats are sick with the same identical issues. So that says to me it was probably not eating a stink bug like I thought maybe was the case, and that it probably was some sort of a virus, and somehow Rich picked it up from our cat or cats and took it home to his cats, because he has 3. We have 2. And he is now dealing with the same issues that Glenn dealt with while I was away. And I feel so bad for him. But like I said, ours are all better, and it wasn't separation anxiety either because they hadn't left. They are home all the time with their cats too, just like we are, except when I go to a retreat. But yeah, so it wasn't that. So I'm more and more convinced it was a virus, and Rich sadly took it home to his kitties, and they aren't feeling so good. They're on the mend. They're getting better. And a virus, seriously, there's not much you can do for it except let it run its course. And I did not take ours to the vet for that reason, that it probably, the likelihood that it was a virus was pretty much what it was. And other than to keep them hydrated, there really isn't a lot you're going to do. So they gradually, their appetite got better, and they started eating again. And had they not done that, then certainly, absolutely, I would have taken them. But they started to perk up, and they started to eat. Now, they didn't eat like they ate before at first. So we just put down, very small portions and kind of gradually increased it to what they should have. But just, let's keep your belly in good shape and just eat a little bit at a time. And now they're up to their normal portion of food, and now they're still begging for more. But they ain't getting more. That Odie would, as long as he could see food, he would eat it, which is why he's such a huge cat. And it shows when he comes to sit upon me at all hours of the early morning before the sun is up, because what he wants is more food. And it's like, no, you're not getting it. So, but if anybody was wondering, yes, they are better. They're back to normal. And that's all a good thing. Oh, I should have. Trying to think, no, I didn't stitch anything before I started. So we'll actually get to see how many stitches Karen can actually get done. We might be surprised. Because what do I normally get stitched when I do a recording or I haven't done a live for quite a while. I guess I'm overdue for those. I don't know if I remember how to do them. It's been so long since I did one, but I'll have to look at the calendar and come up with a plan for that. I will tell you that the Saturdays, every Saturday is tied up with a Zoom meetup. The schedule being the first Saturday of the month and the third Saturday of the month. It will be starting at 11 a.m. And I picked that time so that hopefully I can get a lot of the folks that are across the pond. And then the second and the fourth Saturday, it will be at 6 o'clock in the evening. And that is so I can get a lot of people here in the States. I mean, that is the plan. Those times are always up for adjustment and negotiations and what have you. Now, if there is a fifth Saturday in the month, there will be none. There will be no meeting because I'm already doing every Saturday. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking it might get to be a lot, but we'll see. We shall see. So if you are interested in that, just search for the group. I can put a link for the group in the drop-down box. Answer the questions, and you'll be accepted and in. I think, what did I? I'm using my phone, so I can't look. I want to say there's close to, if not just over 100 members at this point. So yeah, do feel free to join in. And you don't have to go on Zoom if you don't want to. It's just a group of channel supporters, and talk to each other, post pictures, have fun. Needed a drink. So I don't know that I really have anything else today to yak about. Yeah. Oh, the only other thing that's what I wanted to add. Is anybody doing full coverage February with Stitching Mommy and Highway Stitching? I think there's a hashtag for it on Instagram. And yeah, you can post your progress. They're having a little competition where there's a question posted, and I forget the frequency of the question. And if you answer the question, your name gets put in for a drawing at the end. So that's certainly, something if you want to do that. Since I stitched predominantly full coverage, I'm going to stitch full coverage for February. I don't know that I'm going to enter for any drawings. I don't normally do that. I have enough stuff here to keep me for a long, long time. I don't need any more, even though I keep buying things. And is anyone doing the Hardanger stitch along in the group? Hardanger lovers? I think. But their stitch along there's a particular chart that they're all doing. There's a link in the group for the shop on Etsy that has the chart. Everybody is stitching the same chart, although you can alter it to be, you can change it to how you want. It's a cute little chart. You can do it as a runner or a doily. It's calling for Karen watercolors, either watercolors or waterflowers, one of those. I'm not going to do mine with that. I'm going to do white on white, but there's surface satin stitching on it, and that's what I'm going to change. They look like flowers with leaves coming off of them, and that I'm going to change and probably use some subtle colors of pearl cotton to do those. Haven't quite decided on them yet, but it's something I want to play around with. That stitch along just started yesterday. I think it lasts for 2 months, and I'm pretty sure you can probably just jump in anytime. So it might be something else that you want to check out. So with that, my dear friends, I think we are going to call this one a day. I will tell you that I am about ready to do a review of my Dubco stands. I would think most of you know that I did get a sofa stand, and and that's what I'm using today, is the table stand with the rotary cuff. So I think I'm about ready to do a review on both of those. So look for that in the very near future. So with that, my friends, I hope you have a lovely weekend. It's a dreary day in Pennsylvania. I don't know. I haven't seen the sun in seems like forever. And neither did Puxatawny Phil. So he says we're going to have an early spring. Any rate, I hope all of you have a good weekend, and do remember, the only rules in cross-stitch are the ones you set for yourself. So until next time, take care, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.